splendid conditions for the opening day of the second Test match at Lord's, with Tony Greig winning the toss, and a very good toss to win it was. A good, hard, firm pitch, not much grass on it, and I should think the England captain was highly delighted when the coin came down the right way. He wouldn't have been quite so pleased not to have John Edridge in the side. He had to cry off with Barry Wood coming in at the last moment due to Edridge's torn thigh muscle. The West Indians, well, they brought in Michael Holding, although there was some doubt about his fitness. He had a suspected case of glandular fever, and they also brought in Ralph Jumadine. As far as England were concerned, it was important once they batted that they get through the West Indian pace attack. This was the key thing. The West Indians playing Roberts and Holding together for the first time in this series on the ground, where they bowled so well against the MCC youngsters earlier in the summer. We join play now in the third over of the day. It's Andy Roberts bowling to Mike Brearley.
And another very quick ball indeed. Moved well across, could well have got outside off stump there, but Andy there thinking it must have been very adjacent indeed. A second over from Michael Holding. And that going over the top of everybody. Beaten Murray as well, and it really wasn't all that short. And it goes through for 4 byes. Made a good 50 against the West Indies in the week up at Manchester, but in fairness, neither Roberts or Holding were in opposition that day. Oh, that's a fine shot. Didn't quite middle it, but got into position, played it down, hit it in front of square. There should be 3 runs here. It's a long chase for Bernard Julian. And it's interesting that for Barry Wood, Holding had a deep long leg. Been fairly assured that anything short Barry Wood might have a hook at. Really facing now. Standing upright, lifting the bat. And another very good ball indeed. Again, it wasn't all that short. It's a fine bit of work in the field again by Fredericks. Saved 4 certain runs there. And that's out. Barry Wood on his way. Tried to pull his bat out of the way. Couldn't manage it. Barry Wood misses out again here in a Test match. He's out for 6. Andy Roberts strikes the first blow for West Indies, and England lose their first wicket with a score on 15. Holding to steal. Well, he ducked into that. Didn't bounce quite as high as he anticipated it. It's a fine bit of work in the field again. Julian flinging himself to his right. And bear in mind he's a left-hander. The ones coming on his right hand always more difficult. And another really quick ball there from Andy Roberts. My word, this is a fiery spell.
Yeah, it's a good shot. That'll just stop short of the boundary. Again, it looked to be a stroke that would carry right through to the rope. And a fine throw from Bernard Julian. Andy Roberts, and he'll be bowling to David Steele. It's in the air, but it's safe. Well, that was almost the same type of stroke as he was out on in the first Test match at Trent Bridge. Quite deliberately hooking up in the air. No rolling of the wrists over that to keep it down. It was a swing from down below, straight through, up in the air, and very, very dangerous. That is great concentration. A good slower ball, and he must be out. That's good bowling from Roberts. A lovely slower ball, and Steele was beaten on the backstroke. No wonder the crowd is happy at that. Andy Roberts has done it again.
And it's Julian who's running into ball to Braley.
Well, that can't be far away, and Dickie Burt's giving it a long, hard look. That's a piece of, well, I was going to say a piece of misjudgment by Mike Brearley. It turned out not to be, but it must have been very, very adjacent. Batsman can be out, not playing a shot, even though the pad is outside the line of off stump. So it was a big shout, and took umpire Bird quite a time to give it the shake of the head. It's 4 runs. It's only the second boundary of the morning. First one having been hit by Steele just before his dismissal. So Brearley now has gone on to 14.
That's a good firm on drive by Brian Close there. A long chase for Jumadine down there. Just about got it off in time. Flicks it back to Robertson. They get 3 runs. Well, that good firm shot will do Brian Close a power of good. And that's it. Well, it was certainly a confident shout there. Worth having another look to see if it flicked off something. The batsman hiding our view. Really going across, certainly off the top of the thigh. Holding again to Close. Oh, a real wide, high, full toss. Brian Close not pleased with that, but I'm quite sure it slipped out of Michael Holding's hand. Absolutely certain it wasn't intentional. Looked down the wicket and said, sorry to Closey. But it certainly makes you think coming out of the back of this pavilion here. Very nasty, awkward ball, but perfectly sure it was unintentional. Holding again, this beautiful run to the pitch. Perfect athlete coming in. And found the gap there, no third man, 4 runs, flicked away by Close, bisecting the 2 gullies. So 4 to Brian Close, bringing up the 50 for England. 52, which has taken an hour and 3/4 to reach for the loss of 2 wickets. It's a good firm shot again by Close. Really dropping his bat. And the excitement of it all, it's 2 more. And Andy Roberts having to do the chasing, the man responsible for the fall of England's 2 wickets this morning. It's a great stop by Lloyd, and Brian Close quite relieved to see that could have really flown anywhere. A really nasty delivery this from Van Bernholder. Unfortunately for Close, it went along the ground and brought out a magnificent stop from Lloyd.
Racing away down to the mound stand, and the first boundary of the second session of play Brian Close goes on now to 20. Julian again now to Close. Even time road again, but this one won't go for 4. Close will just pick up 2 runs. Brearley on 23 facing Van Bernholder. And that's a beautiful piece of work. Lovely piece of fielding. Not quite so well taken by Jumadine. The throw from Fredericks very, very close to the stumps. Close was the man who called a single that took Brearley on to 24, but it was a very near thing. Good shot from Brian Close, 4 runs. It's a no ball call, but a good stroke off his pads. Takes him now on to 29. Oh, that must be very close, but pitching just outside leg stump. Left arm over the wicket, coming across the right-hander. Jumadine. And it's the half-century partnership up for Close and Brearley. A good effort. Both of them have worked very hard out there. 30 to Close, 24 to Brearley.
Brearley, one of the coolest and calmest men you could wish to have out there. Completely unhurried, unflappable. And playing a hook shot there, pulling it around. So a fine response there from Mike Brearley. Moving on to 30 by means of an excellent hook shot. Roberts from the nursery end. Close on 33. And hooked away beautifully down to the deep long leg boundary for 4. First time that Brian Close has really played that shot since he's been out there, but doing it most effectively there. Moving on to 37, the score on to 94 for 2.
Steady English progress, slowish over rate. They batted well, these two. It's a nice looking stroke just behind square, beautifully timed, running up the slope. 4 runs for Brearley. Sort of shot, I think, that will please Sir Gary Sobers, who's with us.
Yes, Peter, that was a very, very beautiful shot. Just opened the face of the bat and steered it past backward point for 4. You can see it there, right out to it, opening the face and hitting it between backward, between point and deep third for 4.
Oh, it's another fine shot off the back foot from Brearley, running down the hill on an outfield that is quickening.
Jumadine coming over the wicket. And a friendly full toss to start with, fairly cluttered through extra cover by Brian Close. He won't mind how many of those he likes to bowl at him with this field. And he's bowled him, beaten there by a little bit of extra pace. And Robert strikes again for West Indies. Mike Brearley, who'd held out all this time for his 40 runs, Beautiful piece of bowling again by Roberts. Collects his third wicket. Braley out for 40. And the England score on 115 for 3.
Bob Woolmer facing Andy Roberts. That's 4 runs. Good looking shot from Bob Woolmer. Gets him off the mark and takes the England total to 123 for 3. Just under the heart there. Nasty blow. He played it defensively. I thought he had it covered. Beautiful shot from Woolmer. Not a very good ball from Jumadine, I'm afraid. Short outside the off stump. And Woolmer just waited on it and clubbed it away through point. Shot from Woolmer, taking into double figures. Beautiful cover drive. Jumadine this time over pitching, whereas the last boundary to Woolmer came from one that was short outside off stump. 132 for 3 now, with Woolmer on 12 and close 47. There's the sweep shot. It's in the air, and he's put it down. Didn't quite get the fingers to it. It's gone for 4, and Brian Close has his half-century in this comeback season. A great diving effort there by Michael Holding, but to no avail, and Brian Close goes on to 52. And Murray, I think, may have missed him there. Got it at the second attempt. Would certainly have been unsighted by Woolmer going down the track to drive and playing across the ball. You can see here how Woolmer started to go down. Now Murray has to move to his left. Yes, definitely unsighted, bouncing up off the gloves. He gets it the second attempt. By that time, Bob Woolmer is back, so a really difficult stumping chance.
It's a nice shot. 4 runs. Just leant into that. Angled the bat a little bit, picked his spot just behind square on the offside. Opening the face. So 151 for 3, and Woolmer moves to 20.
Still the spin of Jumadine at the nursery end. A friendly full toss, and he's held out a short extra, and Brian Close is disgusted with himself. A brilliant catch there by Van Bernholder. Jumadine takes his first test wicket in England, and Brian Close departs after a valiant effort. 60 out of 153 for 4, and he'll be kicking himself all the way back to the pavilion. Friendly full toss, which you could have stroked almost anywhere in the offside, and offering that catch to short extra cover. But the crowd here acknowledging Brian Close once again on Lord's Cricket Ground. The pavilion rising to him, members in the stand, saying thank you for an effort which has put England back in the game here. And he's caught him, and a great bowling change. Roberts has done it again. He's come back. A brilliant catch there by skipper Clive Lloyd, getting rid of Tony Greig. Out for 6. Another failure for the England captain. And the West Indians jubilant. That's the wicket they really wanted. Tony Greig in form, could have turned this game for England, but falls again to Roberts. He's the 5th Englishman out, the score on 161, and Andy Roberts has got 4 for 32.
Safe. Between fieldsmen there.
And he's pulled it on. Van Bernholder taking the wicket. Alan Knott dragging a ball, a good length ball from outside off stump, onto his wickets. It's another victim for West Indies. Alan Knott the man to go. struggled away for his 17 runs. And Holder bowling this short of a length ball outside the off stump. Just striking the inside edge. Alan Knott's feet in no sort of position whatsoever. Must really have the eye and body behind the ball. It was missing there, and Alan Knott departs, bowled by Holder for 17, the 6th wicket going down for England with a score on 188. So a new over from Jamaican Michael Holding, his 15th of the innings. A full toss, which is put away quite beautifully there by Woolmer for 4. Right off the meat of the bat. And another good one too, again coming back down, finding that tiny little gap. And that's the chance this time, and it's taken, and it's a great catch by Murray. Julian goes, Holding takes his first Test wicket in this country, and England slumped to 196 for 7. Another dour effort there from Bob Woolmer. In fact, I thought he played as well as any Englishman has done there today. Had plenty of time, but falls to Holding with just 10 minutes to go before the close. And the new batsman in at number 9 to take Woolmer's place is John Snow. 196 for 7 now. And Derek Murray, who does his job so efficiently, week in, week out, behind the stumps, picking up a really fine catch here to get rid of Woolmer. Committed to play at it. A very thick edge. Could well have gone to slip. And Murray poaching it out of First Slip's hands. Just as well that he clung onto it, otherwise First Slip might have had something to say there. And it's a wicket, and it's Andy Roberts' 5th wicket of the innings, rounding off a wonderful day's bowling by this West Indian pace bowler. It's John Snow, the man to go without opening his account. That's going to be end of play for today, with England on 197 for 8. A disappointing John Snow, because he always rather fancies his chance late in the order. Beaten there by a full-length ball from Andy Roberts, crowning a wonderful display of pace bowling by the Antiguan. Pitch well up, and again just moving slightly down the slope here at Lord's, and back goes the off stump. John Snow goes.
Well, no joy there, I'm afraid, for England supporters. 197 for 8 in 80 overs. Not much joy there either for the people who like to see quick over rates, just 80 overs in the whole day. Brian Close, a staunch effort for 60. Mike Brearley, I thought he played pretty well early on. He took the brunt of the fast bowling attack. Robertson Holding. Bob Woolmer, again, a cultured innings. That was a good follow-up effort by Woolmer, following on his Trent Bridge performance and the one against the Australians in the 5th Test last year. For the rest, well, there's not much to be said for them. They were completely dominated by the fast bowlers today. Jumadine bowled steadily as the spinner for the West Indians, but the day really belonged to the West Indies pacemen. Particularly, I thought Roberts and Holder. I thought Holder bowled pretty well. Holding was never quite at full pace. He's obviously not fully fit, but he did a good job. And psychologically, I'm certain that the fact that Roberts and Holding were together had a great effect on the English batting. Roberts, a superb performance. He really did bowl well today. Not just fast, but he used his head as well. That ball he got still with was a beauty, a lovely, deceiving change of pace, and he added to his reputation today as a really top-line Test match bowler, one of the greatest we've seen in the past 25 years. Well, tomorrow England haven't much to look forward to. They've got to try and scramble as many runs as they can for the last couple of wickets, and then they have to try and break through the West Indian batting. But every honour in the book today to the West Indians. They outbowled England and outthought them, and there was a lack of attack, I thought, about the English batting. They didn't really try and take the initiative, and they paid the penalty.